Good morning. It's 8:20 on Sunday the 28th of May, and Squirrel and I slipped out for a little mission. Grabouw 4x4 in the rainy season. And boy, was this quite an experience. We deflated the two Prados down to 1.5 bars due to the rock and sand combinations and got all of our recovery equipment ready for the day. Willie is the custodian of the truck, super friendly guy and incredibly accommodating. He met us at the gate. We settled the trail fees and were on our way. Yeah, some of the first water that we've got here at Grabouw. We've just dropped into it now. And that means we're coming up to one of our next hill climbs. It's always a bit of fun there. Here we've got through to the first obstacle, the first climb here at Grabouw. We're walking it now to have a look, see what we need to look out for. This is a gradual climb, however it does get slippery. Quite a few rocks and a little bit of ruts at the top. Right, as you can see, this is where it starts getting gnarly. Wheel placement becomes everything. Feels like I have to put my own 4x4 on to make it up here. See a couple rocks have been kicked out. Nice little bit of a ledge climb. Then a corner on the top. The view from the first obstacle, the first climb. Once again, Grabouw is showing off its beauty. Carmichael Jeep Group have re-signposted Grabouw 4x4 track. Thank you very much, guys. It helps us get through this area. Here's another little climb ahead of us. It's basically, let's call it a pebble climb. Right, we've got a section in front of us with a little bit of cross axle and some ruts. Yeah, wheel placement here is going to be everything to drive through this as smoothly as possible. Right, let's go. When we met up with Willie this morning, he told me that there's a bit of a competition running here at Grabouw. There, somewhere on this track is a picture of Willie with a cell phone number. And what you need to do is you need to take a photograph of yourself at that signboard and send it through, I think via WhatsApp, to the number that is listed below the board, and that enters you into the competition. Looks like the clouds are dissipating a little bit. We've had probably about the last half hour where it is no rains, a little bit of blue skies peeking through at times, and we're heading up to get to another little wheel lift and a nice climb. We'll get some great footage of that. We're taking both Prados up. I'm probably going to drive both of the Prados through those obstacles. What makes Grabouw so beautiful, it's these pine trees, it's the rocks. I'm sure you can see in the window here behind me, it is stunning, it is mountainous. It really once again makes me feel like I'm away from everything, and we literally are. There's all of the fynbos, which is unique to this part of South Africa. The rocks, the vistas, absolutely amazing. Here we got some more Carmichael signs. Let me just make sure I turn down the right road. Bit of sand, bit of loose rock, but makes for a lot of fun. Still keeping my eyes open for that picture of Willie, going to enter that competition. Unfortunately for you, I'm not going to film it and place it in this video, otherwise it gives it away. But guys, if you do see it, photograph yourself there, send it through to Willie. It's a nice bit of fun, something different on a 4x4 track. Four by four tracks have a lot of obstacles on, places you need to be careful of your tires. The last thing we want to do is slit a tire on a track. You can see how close the rocks get to tires at times based on the line that we choose. A couple months ago there was a fire that ravaged the Grabouw mountain area. You can see how it has burnt everything. However, take note of all of the green growth that is coming through. Winter is going to be very good for this area. The rainfall we can see is having an effect, and soon our Grabouw mountain will be back to the status that it was before. See how this river has carved its path through this land. This is the river that we've just crossed with the 4x4s now. Let me just try and get a shot without falling in. You see it's quite a lot of water. I'm looking forward to getting through to the waterfall later on. We've reached my favorite obstacle. You're going to see now water in the background here that we've got to cross. It's rather wet. And let me just turn around. You can get the views. Here we've got the water now in the background. Quite a bit of water flowing today, which is going to make it fun. I love driving through this type of thing. We're busy walking up to just check the line, make sure nothing has changed since we were here last, and obviously now to put the GoPro down to try and get another angle for you guys. Alright, squirrel, I'm ready to go. I'm going to proceed straight up ahead of us. I'm going to take a sharp left over onto those rocks and then take a right again to get through this. I'll catch you on the other side. Alright, here we go. Let's go see how this works. Listen to all of that water. That just gives you an indication of how much rain has fallen lately. With all of this water, it's eroded away a lot of the sand in between these rocks, so we're finding that a lot of these rocks are very loose now, nothing securing them in place. And Squirrel's Prado gives a nice wheel lift there. Quite amazing how in driving both vehicles with two different sets of tires, we're talking the Renegade mud terrains on the one Prado and BFKO2s on the other, and very surprisingly as to how well the BFs did in all of this as well by comparison.
Run, running man, run.
We're going to hit some soft sand now and then try and cut across onto rock and hopefully not drive over my GoPro. This obstacle has caused quite a bit of confusion with regards to its name. It's been confused as Difflock Alley, however that's one of the next obstacles a little bit further on. So for safety's sake, I'm going to start referring to it as Momentum Hill. One of the first vehicles I ever saw climb this hill, which was really impressive, was Antonio from Off the Beaten Track with his Ford Ranger. Quite a display of driver skill there. This was my first attempt going up Momentum Hill. I quickly walked it first to get an idea of what line I thought I should take. However, I think I got that line wrong. As you'll see now, I'm coming up, trying to go up basically the center of the route. However, my Prado keeps getting pulled or sucked right into that section with the rock. This forced me to have to reverse and reline myself up. Never heard my Prado suspension be this squeaky or noisy before either. Once I adjusted what my line was and started taking it, you'll see it started climbing beautifully. A little bit bumpy, very, very slippery in places. Made me a bit nervous trying to adjust the lines the whole time. You'll see I had to pull in the end a little bit further right just to get over the next part, but it was a fantastic experience. So stoked to say that I got up to the top of that with my Prado in that weather. Taking a walk up now, just looking at the terrain which I covered getting to the top. Very loose, some stunning little climbs there, a lot of loose rock. Momentum Hill reminds you that without traction, momentum means nothing. Right, you can see there's a structure up there that I'm going to see whether I can get to. Going for a little bit of a hike. Cannot believe how windy it was up there. At one point my hat blows off and over one of the rocks at the back that I need to go and find it. Now, I need to find my cap that blew off. This is quite a hectic descent off this mountain on foot. Standing on broken branches, trying to make sure that I don't slip and fall. Holding onto these pine trees on my way down, but definitely was an adventure and would definitely do it again. Now I've got to run up all of that to get back to Squirrel. We just completed that descent. It's a nice off-camber descent. The car slides slightly when you get into one of the ruts. A little bit different in the wet than in the dry, a bit more slippery. However, if you choose the right line, it almost feels like you're sailing down perfectly through it. Squirrel is about to come over the edge. That's perfect. He's lining up to get into the rut. Now he's driving the rut. You'll see possibly if he doesn't have the right line, you'll see the Prado slide a little bit more once the back wheel drops into that rut. Let's see, but it looks like there's a slight slide, but he's handled that beautifully. Here he comes down. It's a little bit nerve-wracking when you feel the vehicle at those angles. Your body turns around and tells you there's a different way of handling it, and you tend to want to fight what is happening, but that was driven really, really well. We've just completed the, let's call it the obstacle part of Grabouw, the mountainous part. We're now at the point where we're going to be heading out into those mountains, do some contour driving, and the second half of the day begins. Willie mentioned this morning that they are going to be redoing the signs on this half from tomorrow onwards, which will give us better clarity here as well on where to drive and what the route is. If you haven't been out here, this section is a must as well. It is probably one of the most beautiful contour mountain paths you can drive. There we go. We're now walking through to the man-made waterfall. Hiking. From driving down towards it, we could see the mist, the spray, so it must be gushing. This is why a 4x4 gets me out. It's beautiful. Now just don't slip on this wood as we're crossing this bridge. I'm not scared of heights, but slippery surfaces like this make me incredibly nervous. But to be here, to hear the power of that water, the spray that is just shooting out like it's a Gulf wind blowing this water away, it's absolutely insane. It's magical. It's beautiful. Can't tell you how stunning it is to be here. You have to come here and have a look, especially after the rain. I've never seen so much water coming through here before. We've had some great weather, however it looks like the rain has just arrived. As fast as it arrived is as fast as it disappeared. You should note the excitement on my face the second I see a puddle, so watch what happens next. Not one of my biggest splashes, however definitely a memorable one. Squirrel is up next, and guess who thought he was far away enough from the puddle? This water is freaking cold and damn strong. I tried a little bit of a walk in, but definitely wasn't going to happen, so we took the cars through. Easy does it, a careful drive through just to make sure we don't lose any traction at all. Turns out this river looks a lot worse than what it was in reality. In the summer, when there's much less water, the kids go below that bridge, sit on the rocks, we take a couple photographs. They love it there. Right, we're at the Giant's wash basin, just taking a walk down, looking absolutely beautiful. If I turn around to show you some of the views, we're sitting on the side of a valley. You can hear the river in the background gushing its waters. The green trees, pine, is absolutely beautiful. The smells out here are amazing. It's Christmas in July with these smells. It's a little bit of a hike. It's not too bad. It's very short. There at the top you already see the glimpse of the water, and we're almost there. You see a bit of mist again, the overspray of the waterfall. You can hear it in all of its glory. Let me just try and get down here. There we go. So majestic, so beautiful. You can see the catchment area. And then it flows out.
Sunrise is just for you, so come along and take my hand.
Last time we were out here, the water was basically up to this point right here. So either Grabouw has been drinking a lot of water and showering far too long, or we're not out of the drought as much as we would like to be out of this drought. Have a look here. I'm walking up through to a tree stump that looks basically suspended in the air as the water has eroded the sand around the roots. The waterline has receded so far to the point that it's basically created an entire beach, looking rather desolate as you find all of the branches and leftover roots suspended. You can see the small forest of dead trees in the middle of the dam, and then this very large one that has fallen over, roots rotted out. It's pretty large. I would guess that the girth of the trunk to be about 700 millimeters wide, so it's quite a big one, but you can see the top half of the tree rotted away and damaged. That basically concludes Grabouw 4x4 for us. From here we head off back to the entrance gate. Enjoy possibly a puddle on the way there.